so many cases of domestic violence on social media recently, and even couples apart from social media. There was this couple, the wife ran to us and she was complaining that actually she came with the injuries her husband placed on her face. Um, she just came back from the hospital and her face was bandaged, plaster everywhere, swollen face everywhere, and she was saying she got beaten from her husband. I could not believe a man would do that to someone he say he loves, especially his wife. So I don't know, what do you think is the reason for so much hatred between husband and wife?
There are a lot to say about this issue.
Yeah.
And I think it's I go through my Facebook account or through Twitter or through whatever social media platform. You begin to see women say, my husband hits me, my husband did this, my husband did that. And the men growing to be have a way of painting the men like monsters, making all men look like monsters. And the younger generation of females begin to grow up with the fear of when they get into any relationship, they are scared. They put this wall because they are scared. Let this man not hit me one day. But yes, the men have their own issues. But I think as women, we have our own issues. The truth should be said. I don't support domestic violence in any way or in any form. I don't agree with it. I don't encourage it. I think there are ways to handle issues without hitting your partner.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, sometimes the men get beaten up by their wives.
Yeah,
by their wives.
Yeah, that's true.
I think because the women, our weapon of warfare is our mouth. Our weapon of warfare is our mouth. So we just begin to, when there is any conflict at home, that can be solved amicably by just talking, communication. Or if you cannot solve it within yourself, you go meet somebody that you both respect, that can talk to both of you, and both of you will listen and take correction. I think you are solving it that way. Most women, when there's any little conflict at home, they begin to run their mouth from head to toe and begin to call the man names.
And no man can take
No
that.
man can take it. One sign of love to your husband is respect.
Speaking to him in love.
In love is respect. Who you respect, you can't say some words to. You can't tell a man, idiot. You can't tell a man, you are stupid. Look at your dumb head. Is it because I managed to marry you? Can you not see me?
How can you be talking like that? Are you a man at all?
Thank you. How can you behave like that? You
can't
can't
see
see your mates. There is an extent at which a man can take it. Do you get?
Yeah,
There's an extent at which a man can take it, and so many women just go beyond, push a man beyond the limit of his control, of his self-control. Push the man beyond the limit, and before you know, the man has hit his wife on the face. Before you know, he has slapped her. Before you know, he's punching her. And the woman, so most times, we women, we keep talking. He's punching her, and we are talking. We keep talking. We keep
Our emotions are being
just,
flared up
we just,
at that time.
yes, we just
So
keep.
we can't control. And the man uses his pride
His harsh.
on top of us. I also think one other reason why there are so many domestic violence issues in the country or in the world right now is the foundation of their relationship.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think once the foundation is not from a stable platform, it will definitely crumble at the end of the day. Or from a godly platform, it will definitely crumble when both persons do not understand what they are getting themselves
And
into
why.
and why they are getting themselves into such institution as serious as marriage. They will misuse it. They will mishandle it. Yesterday we were in a meeting and the pastor was reading the book of the story of Abigail and Nabal, and he said Abigail knew that Nabal was a fool, but yet
But she did not expose his
his
folly.
folly. Yeah, and
She
yet
protected him.
yeah, and she protected him. She did not She did not slap him.
Yes.
She did not insult
She did
him.
not use
She
it
did not-
against him. Even
Yeah.
when there were issues, she will protect her husband. She will handle the matter. Then she will then go and meet him to say this happened.
Like what happened
Like
between
this,
David
like this.
and Nabal.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
And I'm handling it like this, like this, like this, like that. But so many of us women, I just think.
So in general, what you've said so far is, apart from the men being using their fist as a tool, the
As a
women
weapon of
as a
warfare.
weapon, as a weapon of warfare, the women too contribute to the domestic violence issues.
A man don't get into any relationship if you don't have self-control.
Yeah, I did this write up and said I think couples before they get married, intending couples, should go through anger management.
I think so.
I
Don't
think they
just
should
go
through.
into any relationship if you don't have self-control, men. Same goes with the women, but more to the men, because women talk.
They will kick you.
What they cannot do, they will say it with their mouth.
That's true.
And if a man does not have so most times, I know of a couple, when the woman starts here like this, those people say it's not good, don't just walk out of the house, don't go away. I think it's not bad.
Sometimes it's wasted.
Yes, I think it's not bad because the man knows what he can handle. And you don't expect him to be under the same roof with a contentious woman, a troublesome.
Sometimes or most times, the women know these men, this is how they are. This man is liable to beat me at the end of it. In fact, the man has been beating the woman during courtship. He has been beating her, and she just like, it will change. Then she doesn't say anything till they get married, and he keeps beating her, and she comes out and says, my husband is a wife beater. Why are you complaining when you know?
You saw the signs.
You saw all the signs.
It shows. Sylvia, it shows. There is no. I was telling somebody, I said there is no form of. I hear people say they are so much in love, and it sounds like when you are tasting chocolate so sweet, and you melt it.
It's not love.
When you mix vanilla and you mix strawberry and you mix banana flavor. That fineness.
Love is not
And people say
crazy.
it's so good. I'm so in love. It's so sweet. And we get so blinded to these signs. There are signs that this man, he cannot control his anger. You do something very minute, very, very minute, and
It blows us up. Yeah, it blows us up.
you argue, and it doesn't even let it go.
Sometimes I've heard you say that if he hits you once, he will hit you again.
Yes, he will do it again.
So she feels that, or he feels that, because now we're saying she
both, though.
because it's both. Some
Women
men,
beat men.
yeah, some men. So she feels that it's just a small hit. He will not do it again. And does it again. Say, he hasn't done it before.
You know
He's
now,
a good guy.
Sylvia, a
He
very
hasn't
good
done
example.
it. The one that
Sylvia,
done
a
it
very good
before.
example. You know that lady that came the first time. The guy hits her very hard. She stayed. He hits her again. She stayed. She was rushed to the hospital. She stayed. He will change.
She went back to her parents. She came back to him.
He will change. And he gave her a good one on the head. And she was still saying
That lady
he will
almost
change.
lost her life.
And I think
And she's still thinking of going back to him.
And I think when a marriage has turned abusive for a consistent period of time, you talk to your pastor. The best person to talk to when any couple is going through issues is the pastor.
Yeah.
No matter how lenient you think the matter is, no matter how lenient you think the matter is, discuss it with your pastor. Discuss it with somebody that you trust, a couple that you trust, that both of you confidential, both of
talk
you
to both of you. Someone that can talk to you.
Most times we don't do that. Do you get? And it causes more harm. Because one thing I found out is that couples keep bottling up issue. Let's not forget that domestic violence is not only to unbelievers, it happens even in the home of believers.
It does.
and it's even leading to death of the other spouse.
Yeah.
You see, a spouse killing the other one because of
Would you be scared of sleeping on
flimsy-
the other the same way
flimsy,
with
flimsy.
somebody?
flimsy excuses. You get.
Yeah.
Then I also think sometimes these things spring up from bottled up emotions, bottled up hurts, bottled up things that were not discussed, or that there was no communication
That's
about,
true.
or there was no conclusion about,
That's true.
or you could not resolve, and you say, I don't want any third party in my marriage, and you don't tell the third party to help you resolve it. So I think you just keep bottling up. You hear a man killing his wife, and everybody's like, why? She didn't cheat. There is nothing going on. Why did he kill his wife? Or why did she kill her husband?
I think why people are scared of involving a third party into their marital issues is because of lots of people talk. I'm scared when I tell you my issue. I will hear it from the other person. I will hear it from another person like that. I will keep hearing it. So people are scared, but that's a trick from the devil.
Yes.
When they will say that lie third party into your marriage, is a trick from the devil.
True.
It's a lie from the pit of hell. It is not godly at all. There is nothing godly about it. You should have, like you rightly said, you should have some persons whom you confide in, whom both of you, who can talk to both of you, who can tell your husband, I say sit down there, and your husband will sit. He tells the wife, shut up, and the wife will keep quiet. Nobody talks. So you should have people like that, so that when you are going through difficult times in your marriage, or your husband is punching you, your wife is punching you, you run to that person or those persons, report and say, Pastor, something is happening in my home. Oh. I need help. I need help urgently.
Fire service.
Also, you see this in war room. Also, talk to God about your issues. I think believers have stopped praying. I think believers have stopped praying
about their marriage.
About their marriage. People no longer pray about
The other spouse. What we do now, Sylvia, I've noticed that we keep complaining about our spouse. We just keep complaining about our spouse. We stop praying.
We pray about financial gain, money.
I want to abroad. Give me the visa.
Give me visa. Lord, I
fast for it.
Nobody
fast for babies.
Yeah. Nobody sits down to pray about their marriage. Nobody fasts about their marriages. Everybody's concerned about this contract there, that contract there. I want promotion in my office. I want babies. I want this. I want that. But the root of all godliness, the root of what keeps a nation going or builds a nation, which starts from the marriage. Nobody's praying about that. Nobody's praying about marriage. So if you have issues in your marriage, find a third party who you can confide in, and also confide in the Lord. Go on your knees and pray about it. Pray about it.
The beginning. One thing I find out that when you are praying about any issue, you don't start seeing results immediately.
Yeah.
In fact, at first it could be very, 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 very trying. You're praying about it, but it's look as if you are seeing the opposite of your expectation.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you're seeing the opposite. Just keep at it.
Joyce Meyer said, I'm reading one Joyce Meyer's book right now, and she said she used to be very insecure, and very angry. She pours all the insecurity and anger issues on her husband. Husband is a very godly man, but the more she's pouring all her resentment and everything on the husband, the more the husband prays about it. And sometimes she heard the husband saying to a friend one time, I kept praying for my wife, even when I saw that it seemed like my prayers were not working. But I kept praying for my wife, and the more I prayed about it, the more her character became worse, but the more God was intervening. And at the end of the day, just her life just turned around.
It's like at the end of the tunnel there is a light.
Her life just turned around. She just began to respond to her husband well. Everything became well. So let's just wrap this up. At the long run, what would you say is the cause of how can we handle domestic violence as children of God? Because it happens to godly couples. How can we handle domestic violence And what would you say is the cause of it? How can we cut it off?
Okay, you know now, we've already said that here.
Yeah.
I think the man should have a very good self-control.
Okay.
The woman should talk less.
Yeah.
And I know that most times we say the man is the head of the house, so he's the spiritual head of the house, so we expect him to do the spiritual work as women. But I think now is the time for women to go on their knees for their husbands, for their marriage, for their children. So, as believers, we should do less talking and more praying, more knee walk. We should be more prudent. Do you understand? We should walk circumspectly.
Yeah.
Like you get. So, as believers, that's what we should do. And if you're not a Christian, the only solution I can give is to be a Christian. Come know Jesus. That's the only solution I can say. Because there is no solution outside Jesus for any marriage.
Remember, God is the author of marriage, so
He knows
who else can you run to
the-
apart from Him?
He knows the antidote to domestic violence, so you run to him and he knows something. That's a good.
We thank God. And also, I think they should also be careful of the foundation. The foundation, know why you're getting married. Know why. Don't just
It's
jump
about
into
the
marriage.
feelings.
Don't
It's
jump.
about how you
And
feel.
know whom you are getting married to. Don't take anything for granted. Marriage is not a play game. It's not a play game. It's not toy you can play with. So know who you are getting married to. Don't take anything for granted. If you see an attitude you cannot cope with now, don't get into marriage. Don't get into marriage. Let the person know and work out.
If you cannot take your
It's fine.
baggage when you are dating,
Yeah,
don't expect him to take it when you are married.
Yeah.
If she cannot take it, don't expect her to take
Yeah,
it when you are
that's
married.
true.
So just call on unnecessary. That's good.
Thank you.